All right, shalom, 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 y'all. Shalom is Michael Israel. You're watching Spiritual Combat. Got a great show for you today. And today, what we are talking about is the Hebrew disunity community. This whole, um, I've been a part of, you could call it the Hebrew Israelite awakening. Some people call it Hebrew Israelism, but the reality is there's a lot of division. Um, the latest thing that I'm sure everybody sees playing out right now is Ringo TV and New Breed going at it. You know what I'm saying? Um, but you know, this latest thing going down, and I'm sure a lot of people are just discouraged because every time you turn around, you know, uh, you see some type of drama going on. Um, but the thing is, I too went on a journey through the Hebrew disunity community. You know what I'm saying? I was out there, and a lot of y'all know the story. Uh, when I had been all around, very involved in the Hebrew Israelite community. I was working a lot with Ron Dalton um, on movies and stuff like that, doing a lot of really out and about, going to a lot of events, meeting a lot of leaders in the Hebrew Israelite community, leaders, a lot of being a part of, getting to know a lot of assemblies that were out there, assemblies, camps, you name it, across the gamut. I met a lot of people from Yoshiyahu way out there in California, all the way to Rebirth over there in Georgia, and Zabat and Tazariak up there in New York, and everything in between. Um, yeah, and I have video footage of it all. At some point, I'm gonna put a little documentary out just showing my travels. But one of the things you notice is just there's a lot of talking in the Hebrew Israelite community, but there's really no action. Nobody really wants to take the step to go to the next level. Um, you saw Ringo and New Breed talking a good game, like, yo, like 1 month, they serious, all about brotherhood, coming together as a nation. We're going to show you how it's done. And then the next month, crickets. And then the month after that, all out war. You know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, but anyway, I was on my journey all through this Hebrew Israelite community, all through this thing. And then one day Ron said, "Hey Mike, I got this event I'm putting on. It's called the Great Awakening Hebrew Gathering." He's like, I'm calling, bringing everybody out. He was like, "This is gonna be the biggest Hebrew Israelite event. It's gonna be the Hebrew Israelite events of all Hebrew Israelite events." And see, at that time, it was like this Hebrew Israelite thing was in its renaissance because of the way YouTube was and the algorithms, weren't developed. So, man, you could go on YouTube, say anything. All the truth was coming out. YouTube, Facebook, all that. And, man, those 2 years in particular, which was like 2018 and 19, I mean, man, there were events everywhere. And I was hitting a lot of them. Um, uh, Major, William Major, he put on a big event called James 1 and 1. And man, a lot of leaders in the Hebrew Israelite community came out to that. That's where I met, I met, what you call Rebirth there. That's where I met Josh and Mo. I already knew Richardson Kelly because he's related to Major. So I met him. I just met a lot of people there. That's what kind of got my name on the map because I took a lot of pictures there, did a lot of interviews there, and so then, it was just event after event, man. It was getting big, man. And then Ron dropped his event, and to date, no event has been larger than that Great Awakening Hebrew Gathering event Ron put on. They put out a movie. So one night he did a movie release. Another night they did a concert. On Shabbat, they had Shabbat teachings. Pastor Dow taught there. They had a cookout. They had a boat cruise with a ball. I mean, it was the large Hebrew Israelite event. I mean, this thing, that was big. And he invited a lot of people out. Even during that event, there were people hating on the event, attacking it. Deborah Yah and Watchman and Deborah Yah were online hating on the event. Why do you have a red carpet? You know what that means? And just, it's just always friction out there. There's always something going on. But anyway, I'm telling you about that event because on my way to going to that event, me and Sister Corey were like, man, because what we had seen out there in the so-called Hebrew Israelite community, me and Sister Corey were like, you know what? After this event, we're going to go back to just having Shabbat in our house by ourselves. Forget about trying to reach out to these people because it's just entirely too much drama. It's just, all it is Negroes who know that they're Hebrews. That's it. But there's no change. They're not living a Hebraic lifestyle. They're not in the pursuit of, dealing with this inner world that's going on in here, getting that in alignment with the word. And we saw that, and that was our sentiment, and because we could kind of see the difference between our mindset and a lot of other people's mindset. We really didn't see any like-minded people. And then we met Straightway. That's when we met Straightway, Pastor Dow, and the whole Straightway crew. And they, from day one, they were men of their words with what they did and how they moved and how they operated and how they dealt with stuff. Okay, because things are always going to come up. You're going to have issues, but they dealt with it in a straight up biblical way. And the way it was, because by the time I met Pastor at that event, I had met tons of Hebrew Israelite leaders, and literally within minutes of meeting them, you could, because I have a spirit of discernment. Within minutes of meeting them, you could discern things were off. They weren't who they kind of made themselves out to be online. To paint it a little clear, they weren't of high moral character. And then, like I said, I met Pastor Dow and I met Straightway. And the more I was around them, the more they exceeded what they showed themselves to be on television. Or not on television, but online. Okay? And the rest, you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? I found my family. I found some serious, man, I say this all the time on here. I found some serious-minded saints that was about this book that were more serious-minded than we were. And we had to level up and get on that level, And, you hear Pastor Dow say it, But I'm going to say it too and drive the point in. You ain't going to find that out there. I didn't see it. When I was out there, all I saw was the type of stuff you see going on between Ringo and New Breed. And what's going on with Ringo and New Breed, both of them got issues. You know what I'm saying? They both got issues. And, they're not willing to, I guess admit that or work through that or whatever. You could get into that whole he said, she said thing going back and forth. It's messy. And speaking of that issue, what's interesting, a couple months ago, Floridian Rollo Let's Go let me remember who he had on that show. He had Pastor Rufus on there. He had Eric Gonzalez on there. New Breed came onto that show. What's that guy's name? I forget. I just seen the guy. Let me see if I can find him. But he had that Mark. He had that guy, Mark the Messenger, on there. Mark the Messenger came on his show. I think Ringo came in the comments a little bit or something like that. All these people were on that show gathered for one thing, to try to come against Straightway, to bear false witness, because all these people partook in bearing false witness against Straightway. And the interesting thing is now all these people are completely divided. They're completely they are all completely divided. Hey, bless you, Pastor Corey in there. So look, all these people now are completely divided and separate. And the reason I said that is because Mark the Messenger, I watched the video he did yesterday, okay? He was addressing this situation, and he said, and he made some good points. The dude made some good points, okay? And one of the things he said, now the title of his video, why I don't have anything to do with the Hebrew Israelite community. But then in the video he said, why I don't have nothing to do with black people. That's what he said. He black. Mark the Messenger is black. But he said our people are cursed. Our people have the curses on them. Our people are walking in the curses. And this is why I tell you, this is why when we did that Ask the Elect, and we sat there and told you, we literally predicted how this is going to go. And mind you, it's unfolding. There's other stuff that's going to come out eventually. It's not, we telling you why it ain't going to work. Because unless you diligently adhere to what that word's saying and you trust in Yah, you just going to resort back to your cursed ways, whether you like it or not. And when somebody comes on and says they're going to put something together and they say something like this, listen to this.
We're building a community that has nothing to do with, a religious belief, personal beliefs, none of that.
Nothing. He said nothing to do with a religious belief. Then we already know what the deal gonna be. We already know you bound to fail. We already know it ain't gonna work. We got it. We get it. Like, we know what it is. Because the only way we could gather ourselves together as a nation not desired, the only way we can dwell together in unity, like the word says, how good and how beautiful it is when brothers dwell together in unity. The only way you're going to do that is with book. You ain't going to just figure this out with your mind and make this work. You got to have the Most High in it. And a lot of these dudes, y'all gonna see, if you don't already see, they just talkers. They talk a good game. They tell you something to pacify you, make you feel like you're the victim, to justify whatever you got going on in your life. But they're not convicting you with this word. They just getting views. I mean, and Ringo will tell you straight up, he's an entertainer. He's over there making videos. That's it. So that you'll watch him and he'll get paid. Like, he's come out and said it. You know, he is a straight entertainer. He don't know, you know, like Pastor was saying, it dude got cellophane on his Nikes. Like, dude ain't, he couldn't show you, he couldn't tell you the difference between a tire and a tire iron. You know what I'm saying? He don't, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, like listen, I'm telling you what I have seen firsthand with this so-called Hebrew Israelite community out here. All these people who claim to be biblical, knowledgeable, the word, whatever you want to call it. Look, these dudes, I did a video a while back called Catholic Hebrews. That's all these people are. They're doing the same thing that people who follow Catholicism do. They're getting up there and they just talk and do videos and talk. But ain't nothing gonna come of it. You gotta, like, you ain't forming no community and excluding Yah out of it, and you the curse of Israel. You'll see how that go. You already see how it's going. You know? It ain't multiplication, it's division. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, somebody said Ringo and the rest of them have nothing but time wasting on their minds. And then I showed you what New Breed is about. Now check this out. Mark the Messenger got on there. I was like shocked. I was like, damn. But Mark the Messenger was like, yeah, he came in following New Breed. And he was like, and he, at some point, I guess they had a friendship, made a friendship, whatever. But on his video that he did recently, he said he had to stop messing with New Breed because every time New Breed called him, he trying to get something from him. And mind you, I told y'all a couple months ago, see, we're living this over here. So we could discern things very easily. Why? Because we live it, man. We live with the saints. We deal with friction. We don't run from friction. But when somebody says this dude is about money.
And for the record, I am about my money. I am about my money.
You look, you're only gonna go so far. And this fallout that he had with Ringo was over money. Mark the Messenger came on his message and said, dude, every time this dude would call me, he's wanting something from me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, wow. Like that, like we know the way these, you know, we know the way this type of stuff works. We know how these types of things play out. We know how it goes. You know what I'm saying? These types of things, they fizzle out eventually. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ain't in it because you love your brother as you love yourself, if you truly not in this for that, you'll get weeded out quick. Because, hey, look at y'all can see, man, Israel can be difficult to deal with. That's just real talk. See what y'all saying. See what y'all saying in the chat. All right. Shalom to y'all. Shalom. I see a bunch of y'all saying shalom. Shalom is good to see y'all. Good to see y'all there. Hallelujah. Shalom. Bless y'all. Shalom to everybody. Yep. But we're going to get into this. We're going to get into what people are, what people are running from. You know what I'm saying? Why people don't really want to do what this word says. Okay? All right, somebody said they just about everything but proper structure from the Most High. These guys were ripe for dysfunction. Okay? And I'm sure there's more coming because these dudes, like when you really know that book, you're going to know how to resolve a conflict. And not so much when you really know it, when you really about the book. Okay? You ain't gonna have no problem resolving conflict. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 15 says, make sure that nobody pays back wrong for wrong, but always strive to do what is good for each other and for everything else. So I mean, stuff should never get to that level. Yep. Somebody said as a spectator, Pastor Dow called it out the gate when they teamed up. I'm telling you, Pastor called it out from the very beginning. As soon as they got together, he's like, man, it ain't gonna last. And there's a bunch of videos of him, you know what I'm saying that. Calling them out, saying, look, it ain't gonna last. We're gonna read, about conflict resolution, how to resolve a conflict. And the way we are raised, because a lot of people, most of Israel comes from dysfunction. The majority of Israel, because we're under the curses. So the majority of African Americans here come from broken, dysfunctional families. So they have no idea what it means to be functional. At best, they have a warped concept because maybe they have a job, they're holding a job down. And so at best, they have a warped concept of what it means to be functional. Okay? Me going in the military gave me a fairly good perspective of what it means to operate on a functional team and with teamwork and obedience to instruction, all that stuff like that. But even still, there's a lot to be learned. But you got to have a desire to be obedient to this word. So, one of the big things that we have just from our conditioning coming from in this nation we live in, is this: we've been conditioned to be divided and to not be able to handle conflict in a mature way. And so I got some notes here. Conflict is a natural part of human interaction, but resolving it effectively can be challenging. Okay? And most people, and it starts with the men, they're not masculine. They're very effeminate. A lot of men have been raised by women or been feminized by this society. And their conflict resolution skills are zero. So things that get in the way: defensive behavior, protecting one's ego, can prevent open communication. Ego, pride. When they say ego, they're talking about protecting your pride. You have to be humble. You have to be willing to take the lower route, the humble route. You gotta be willing to serve and sacrifice for Israel. Now, when you look around, again, if these men were wise if New Breed was wise, he would have looked and it's like, yo, these dudes met up at a hotel and then talk about we building something. Bro, why don't you, before you go declare you gonna build something, discern who you dealing with. Nobody did that. They just met up. Hey, we good brothers. Couple days later, y'all done already booted one of them up out of there for some for unrighteous in an unrighteous way. Y'all just gave Rollo the boot. Right there, I knew this. Oh yeah, these dudes ain't gonna work. These dudes is highly paranoid, and they have no idea how to resolve any type of conflict. You know what I'm saying? Again, it says you'll know them by their fruit, and then you look at Straightway and you see a huge group of brothers not only sticking together through thick and thin, but also producing fruit. Spiritually, yes, but also tangible, physical fruit. You see buildings being, so you see communities coming up. Like you actually see something happen. Businesses that function with brothers working together. But again, if you got a lot of pride, it's going to prevent open communication, like this thing I read said, like my note said. Underestimating the importance of the conflict. That's what New Breed did. What's that dude's name? Ringo said he sent him like 50, 60 messages. New Breed said, I listened to 2, got mad, and said forget about it. Not taking that head on and hearing your brother out. You know what I'm saying? Lack of empathy. This is a big one. Inability to understand and share the feelings of others. And this is with a lot of people. This is why I did my spiritual self-development playlist series there that I put out. The reason I did that is because people don't even know themselves. If you don't know yourself, there's no way you're going to be able to have empathy for someone else. Okay? Difficulty staying calm. Getting emotional. Emotional outbursts can escalate the situation. You see what I'm saying? When you're trying to resolve something with people. Okay? Alright. Now, check this out. Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2, verse 5. Because this is what you got to understand. See, and this is why you don't see anybody coming together. The only place you see people coming together at is Straightway. Because this is where the serious-minded saints, this is where, eventually, if they're really searching, this is where they find. This is where they end up being at. Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. How you handle adversity. And you see a lot of people when they fully put in adversity, and don't get it twisted, y'all. I know how tough it is. I mean, it can, like, because the behaviors I see people, the way I see people acting out there, like this New Breed and Ringo thing going on, the way they're behaving, oh, don't get it twisted. Them same emotions come over me. But you got to have the word in you enough where it shuts that down. You see what I'm saying? And that's why there's such a big following, because Ringo caters to the flesh. In his whole channel, that's what it's set up for. To cater to your carnal nature. Okay? That's what it's just modern day Jerry Springer or something like that. For those of y'all who've seen Jerry Springer back in the day. But what you have a lot of people, they just, like, Ringo put a video out saying, in his video, he said, yep, he's like, I have no friends and I love it. Like, he don't got nobody he can rock with, and he likes it that way. Why? Because he's afraid of confrontation. He has a spirit of fear. He's afraid of confrontation. King David dealt with confrontation. You know, when Israel sent the people out to check out the land that Yah was going to give them, and they brought the report back, yeah, they got this, they got that, all this good stuff. However, you're going to have to fight, and the inhabitants are big, and this, that, and other. And they started crying, the majority of them. They were crying. Why? They spirits of fear, afraid of conflict. We rather, like a lot of people, just rather stay in Egypt. They don't want to leave. They like Egypt. They like being in oppression. They like going to work for these people. They don't mind people getting shot by cops and all the oppression that comes. But surely oppression makes a wise man mad. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what else we got here. You know, I talk about why you need to go through challenging times, tough times. Overcoming challenges builds mental toughness and it builds resilience, okay? The hardships develop your character. Instead of just giving in to your feelings and acting like a character, you let the hardships develop your character. You see what I'm saying? Going through these adversities, if you go through it in a righteous way, the way the word says, and you deal with it according to the way the word says, it gives you a deeper understanding of yourself and what you got operating in you. So you going through these situations will help develop empathy in you, where you're able to understand where somebody else is coming from, not just see it your way. Okay. So let's see what else we got. So the reason why a lot of people run from confrontation and instead they just lash out like you see happening now, is mainly fear of rejection. Sometimes people fear that they're going to hurt others. A lot of people have low self-esteem because they don't know themselves. A lot of people can't handle the anxiety. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lack of masculinity, a lack of enduring hardness as a good soldier. You know what I'm saying? And what it equates to, the end result is we're never able to come together and have anything in common. So, yeah, that's a big part of it. Let's see what else, if I got anything else here. But yeah, that's a major part of it, man. And when you go and read the curses, you see that at the end of one of the core essence of why these curses are on us is because we don't love the Most High Yah with our heart, mind, and soul, and we don't love our brothers as we love ourselves. That's at the core of it. You know what I'm saying? And everybody got the Bible. Everybody want to talk a good game, but when the emotional storm is brewing And when the emotional storm is going on, the majority of these people throw that Bible right out the window. They ain't hearing nothing from it. My emotions are God, and that's the idol, and that's what people go with, and that's what they worship. And then you get the result. Folks can't come together. And I'll tell you, you hear these people now. I think Mark the Messenger echoed the sentiment of a lot of people now. They ain't messing with nobody else. Like Mark the Messenger said, if I'm not doing I'm not having nothing to do with anybody else on YouTube. He's like, don't even come. He said, he told people, don't even come to him asking if he could come on your show. He said he going solo too. However, what does the Bible say? What does the word says? It says, forsake not the assembling, as is the manner of some. I think it says something to the extent of like deceiving yourself. What it also says is, don't forsake the assembling as you see the day approaching, the end days approaching. It says, gather yourselves together, O nation not desire. It tells you to come out from among them. Like, this is how you really walk this word out. And it's sad because Mark the Messenger put out a video and he was talking about how he was really nailing it with the curses and how our people are under the curses in that you see in Deuteronomy and that the Most High said would be upon us. They're fully walking in this. Because what? Our people are stubborn. They don't do what the word says. And all the way down to even him. Because you're going to get on there and you're like, yeah, I ain't linking up with nobody. He pretty much saying he's rolling solo. They talk about this chosen ones. But and they like to throw the Bible in there, parts of the Bible that go along with their narrative, but they're not going to do the weighty stuff that really counts. Come together with your brother. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to do that stuff. They're not going to love their brothers. They love themselves. They're going to make sure they making money off their brother and it's profitable. And, hey. But then you got an example. The example was right there in front of you of, hey, this is the example. This is a person who has fruit. You look at Pastor Dow. He's been doing this for years. He's bearing fruit. And what did they do? They attacked him. Well, that's the same thing that happened at the Great Awakening Hebrew Gathering. We went up there. They gave Ron Dalton awarded him Hebrew Man of the Year because of all the actual footwork he has done. He built communities. Nobody else doing it to date on that scale, whatever. And gave him the Hebrew Man of the Year award trophy, and everybody attacked him. Richardson Kelly attacked him. Richardson Kelly got mad, took his trophy that Ron Dalton gave him, threw it in the trash, took a picture of it, and posted it on Facebook. Because everybody was so mad that Pastor Dow got the Hebrew Man of the Year award trophy. But the reality is, nobody doing shit. Watchman and DeBoer went on while the Great Awakening Hebrew Gathering meeting was going. They went online hating on it, trying to sabotage it or whatever. And mind you, they tried to start a community, and it was a disaster. Nothing short of a disaster. And then what'd they do? Went off by themselves. They said, we ain't messing with them. My Pastor Dow been dealing with this type of shit, with these jacked up curse personalities that's on our people. Damn, they're going on 30 years or something like that. And the only thing all these people could do is attack them. Only thing Ringo could do is do a whole month's worth of videos. Mind you, never even going to him privately. He just went full public That's what they reward them with. Well, now, you see, chickens coming home to roost, or however that saying goes. Can't make it up. In the meantime, we still rocking over here. Now, mind you, let me tell you this. A lot of people thought wow, Ringo doing all them videos and all these people on the internet saying all this stuff, they think we over here in Straightway like going berserk. Bro, we be trying to tell y'all. Here in Straightway, we're on social media for y'all's sake. That hopefully some of y'all might have ears to hear and eyes to see, and maybe get a witness in your spirit and realize that we're the people who actually doing this thing and really serious about what the Bible says. Outside of the small amount of time we come on here to do this, we out trying to figure like me. My focus and concern is trying to put our business together and trying to get some land. That's what I spend my time doing, trying to figure out and do. Now, I'm over media in Straightway, so I got to suffer through some of the New Breed videos and Ringo videos and whoever else out there saying stuff or whatever. You know, I do got to pay a little more attention to it, but at the end of the day, it ain't really been no change. It's been peaceful here in this assembly for months. We turn on TV, we turn on YouTube and see all the drama going on YouTube. That ain't our reality. It's very peaceful living along like-minded brothers and sisters. And when something does come up, we do deal with it. So, but yeah, man, it's just amazing. Yeah. Somebody said it's amazing that they can never ignore gaslighting drama. Yeah. And mind you, come to find out, when Ringo and New Breed started coming out with all this, they had been sneak dissing each other for the last 2 months, going back and forth, just subtly below the, behind the scenes. Hallelujah! Bunch of drama and BS. Straightway has saw this BS. Yeah, we saw this thing coming. We called it out a while ago. Somebody said, is it safe to say that the spirit of Yah is not dealing with Ringo and friends? Look, you'll know him by their fruit. Like what fruit is he producing? The only thing he produces is long videos. You know what I'm saying? I come on here and in about 40, 50 minutes, say what I need to say. Thanks for posting that scripture. Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching. That's Hebrews chapter 10, verse 25. Now, the brother asks, do you think the spirit of Yah is over there with Ringo? Look, he's going directly against this Bible verse right here that you put in here. He's directly going against it. He says, why I have no friends and love it. And the Bible tells you, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together. And he tells you, in 2024, you need to roll solo. I think that dude's a wizard. That's what I think he is, a warlock or something. You know what I'm saying? Because look, he's pushing directly against what the word says. At least New Breed is like making an effort to try to put something together. But I mean, but he trying to make money off it. So he ain't too much, too far from Ringo. Brother Ellis the Hebrew, bless you, brother. Brother Ellis said it's envy and jealousy. Boom. On point. He hit that. It said, hallelujah, Ringo a hypocrite, him and Breed reaping what they sow. And there go my brother, Closer to Yah Ministries. Man, it was a blessing finally getting to meet this brother out in Dallas. Met him face to face. Solid brother. And he just coming in saying shalom. But yeah, I got a chance to chop it up with Closer to Yah there while out at the event in Dallas. And hopefully that event was pretty good for y'all, the audio and everything. I really tried to make sure I did a good job with the audio, and it sounded pretty good to me. So that was a good event. It's good going out to Dallas, checking them out. Being around the Saints. It was an awesome time. Okay. Anyway, y'all, that's all I have to say. Just wanted to come in here and just shed some light on some things. And we're going to be talking about, I'm going to probably have a couple shows about, the barriers to community, how and, what causes a lot of this disunity. I'm going to probably go into that a little deeper in the coming days and weeks. But that said, appreciate all y'all tuning in. Closer to Yah said, thank you for your audio video wisdom you shared with me, my brother. Bless you, brother. And like I said, Michael Israel, y'all see, and if you don't know, if y'all new or whatever, bro, Michael Israel ain't hiding behind keyboards. Like, I've been out there. I've been in the trenches of the Hebrew Disunity community out there. I've been out there in the trenches of that thing. You know what I'm saying? People know who I am. They seen me. Ain't too many people around you. Anybody in the Hebrew Israelite community, somebody one of your leaders has been around me or met me or seen me. You know what I'm saying? So that I'm you know what I'm saying? I ain't just out here just saying stuff to get some views. Heck, if if I was about getting views and subscribers, my channel wouldn't be looking like this with just 50 people watching. I'd have thousands of people, in time, but that's not my goal. Right now my focus is singular, and that's coming out from among them in every way, shape, form possible, and I'm working on that, and that's where my goal is. So anyway, y'all, with that said, appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm Michael Israel. You watch Spiritual Combat. Like, share, put comments on this. Appreciate y'all. Shalom, shalom.